I will vote for the person in this upcoming election that sends me the least amount of text messages.
Hey.
Because if I get one more, hey, Troy, my name is Daniel. I'm a former Trump voter. I want to share this video with you. If I get one more of them,
you go crash out?
I'm crashing out, bro.
And people walking the neighborhood and stuff like that. There was a group of white women walking the neighborhood. All of them had pamphlets and fanny packs and stuff like that. I saw them walking up to the door. Before they even got to the door, I came on the door, but I said, "Don't put nothing on my door."
Mel's such a black Karen, yo. He is such a black Karen.
I said, "Don't put nothing on my door."
Yo, welcome to the cave with Mel, Troy, and Lex. The podcast where men can have a safe space. We on all platforms. You need to tune in, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Welcome to Melody, the podcast where men can have a safe space. Welcome to Melody. Welcome to the cave with Mel, Troy, and Lex.
The Stampede came. They were blue and white.
Yes.
Yeah, they came later. Yeah.
What up, though? We back.
Hey, bro, I ain't gonna hold you. That Instagram clip, the devil is a lie, had me on lockdown for at least 2 weeks, bro.
Well, one of your Christian rappers, he did a track to it. That don't go hard.
One of my Christian rappers.
Because I know you listen to Christian rap, bro.
Put me on. I ain't heard it.
Yeah, I listened. I heard it yesterday. I was like, yeah, that joint go kind of tough.
But yeah, man, that joint had me in the chokehold. Because the devil is a liar. Yeah.
I feel you. We back. Go ahead, Mel. Kick us off.
What's going on, man? You know what it is. It's your boy Melly Mel, a.k.a. Melly Badass, a.k.a. Meek Mel, a.k.a. your favorite truth teller, a.k.a. if you don't want to know, don't ask me.
It's your boy T-Dot Roy, your neighborhood hope dealer. If you need some hope, I got something you can borrow. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow.
What it do, though? It's your boy Dr. Life Coach Lace, a.k.a. I'm him, a.k.a. NBA old boy, a.k.a. the menace no relation to Dennis. Hey, yo, Troy, I do want to tell you, I'm glad that you got rid of that. If your girl alone, man, she probably won't, man. I'm actually glad you got rid of that.
Well, and honestly, because y'all let me know, it was more in my mind than it was in someone else's.
But
mind.
perception can be crazy.
Perception can be crazy, and I have to realize too, man, as like I can't live in the mentality of what people think about me.
Facts.
True. You can't do that, bro, because the moment you do that, you can't even live your own life. Like I remember when we first started hanging out, I was like, all right, I started to assimilate a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like, let me mimic Mel a little bit. Let me mimic Lace, and then it was like, but who's mimicking me?
Right.
And if I'm mimicking them, ain't nobody gonna be influenced by who I am. So it's like, yeah, I gotta be who I am.
Be who you are,
you know
bro.
what I'm saying?
Be who you are.
Because if you in the moment you do, that person's voice or that person's actions that you're thinking about, it's always in the back of your head, bro. Pause. It's always in your mind. It's always in your mind, and you end up making them a little like low key little idols, little gods. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, yeah.
It's what it is.
Well, I'm glad, Troy.
I'm glad too.
I'm glad, man.
I'm glad
I appreciate that.
And honestly, I believe that's what some of my I'm gonna need a 30-day supply because I found out that I think that's some of the issues that my family deals with. They're always in the mindset of what do people.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think we see that a lot in our community, for real. Like for whatever reason, I don't know how it's innately put into our mode of thinking and functionality, but I do believe that we as a people suffer from that a lot. Like, I mean, even with like church or work or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it's always something. Oh, I'm thinking about what this person ain't got nothing to do with you, baby. Like, what is you on?
And here's the crazy thing, Lace. They ain't paying none of my bills.
Nothing.
And if they were, why do I care? I'm like,
why do I care?
You know I'm
like,
rebellious. We talked about it.
For real.
Yeah. I remember distinctly a few times listening to some of my family members like share stories and stuff. Like they'll say something like, "I know I'm not better than nobody. I don't know why people think I'm better than them." I'm like,
who thinking that?
Who is?
Because I know you ain't shit. Who thinking that? Who are these people?
I'm gonna take it a step further though of how I address it. If they think I'm better than them, then I am, and I'm just gonna be that guy.
Roll with it.
I'm gonna be that guy.
Roll with it.
I'm just gonna be that guy.
Insecurity and stuff is real, man. Insecurity, self-doubt, self-awareness, self-esteem, all of that is real.
I was talking to my homeboy the other day, and we was on the phone, and I was just like, he said something. I said, bro, I cannot listen to you anymore because every single time you say something, it influences my decisions, and I can't. And we both, and we're laughing. You know what I'm saying? We're both laughing, and I said, cause y'all always getting on me about something that I'm doing. He was like, yeah, we do. And I was like, and I realized why y'all do that. I was like, y'all do that because y'all think I'm cool. He was like, I mean, you a little cool. And I was like, that's what it is. Y'all just trying to take my coolness away from me because y'all think I'm cool. He was like, yeah, a little bit. But I never thought that I was cool.
What is the point here?
The point is, I didn't think I was cool. Listen,
why didn't you think you was cool?
Listen.
Like, what are we doing? What's the point?
We said this before. I have a my mindset is of I'm a nobody. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And we all heard that saying before. I'm a nobody trying to be somebody. I'm a nobody.
I'm coming back to this, bro. Go ahead. keep putting your heart up, bro. I'm coming back to this, bro.
I'm a nobody trying to tell everybody about somebody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I've taken that to the extreme,
right,
in a negative way. And I realized, yes, that statement is true, but where I am somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, you are, bro. You gotta affirm yourself, man.
Like
but you also said that they're your friends, right? This is a homeboy,
right.
So he obviously think you cool to some extent. So I get, like, for me, it's amazing how the human mind works. How somebody can be showing you you're cool because I'm having a conversation with you.
Sure.
I wouldn't be on the phone with you if I wasn't cool with you.
That's
I wouldn't be in a relationship or whatever with you if I'm not cool with you. So how do you take that as I'm not cool?
Well, I think partially what it is, and now that we're thinking about it, in middle school and high school, I had an abusive friendship. I know that sounds weird, but it was a friendship of where to make that person feel important, they had to put me down. You know what I'm saying? And I thought that they were so all of the whole world that I'd be willing to do that just to have some glimmer of light. Because, I really didn't be 100% honest with you. Middle school, high school, I really didn't have like an identity. I was still trying to, I didn't realize, my identity didn't come to me really until college. And so then, because of that, my identity is based upon who I hang around. Mm-hmm. And then, later on, I was having a conversation with another friend, kind of similar situation. And he actually apologized to me. He was like, "Hey, bro, I'm sorry for the way that I did things too. You know what I'm saying, back in the day and stuff like that. But and I misled you on some things. But you really cool, man. And I couldn't have been where I am today without you. So they really appreciate it. So it's one of those type of situations. And that's the reason why, like, I like it with y'all's kids. Y'all always remind them who they are.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? With your relationship with your kid is hilarious because y'all just be joning on each other all the time. I was watching Lace's kid was over at our crib. We was putting together Legos, me, them, and my wife. And she said something crazy, some funny. And we was like, "Where'd you get that from?" He was like, "Do you know who my dad is?"
That's real spill.
Oh man,
yeah, hella real.
But what you was gonna say about what he said?
Have y'all seen the interview recently that they had on the Breakfast Club with T.I. and Young Dro?
I saw. I know they had it, but I didn't watch it.
So when they was doing the interview, Young Dro was talking about his growth and overcoming like addiction and stuff like that. So he was telling a story about being addicted and the steps that he was taking to go through it. And he had his friend was sitting on the couch. He wasn't even part of the interview. He was just behind. And as he was talking about it, his friend was laughing in the background. That's lace. When you sitting there pouring out your whole heart about how your life has been turned around, how you trying to get yourself together, how you battle with something, you sitting there, you talking about it's a very serious moment, people pulling into you, lace in the back.
I didn't even laugh.
Yes, you did.
What's the point?
Yeah, what's the point of all this? Lace is, we couldn't even get to it.
But that's real though. I mean, well, one thing I appreciate is like, hey, bro, sometimes you got to tell your brother, hey, man, you got to get over that.
Lock in.
We do need to process, talk about our feelings, talk about emotions, talk about all this type of stuff, and then it's got to get to a point, and then your boy give you some advice and blah 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 blah. But if you keep coming back to that same dead end of thinking, sometimes you got, hey, bro, what's the point?
Hey, you got to lock in.
Yeah, I feel you.
What's the point?
I feel you.
Like when you told me, you was like, hey, Troy, get over yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Bruh, oh yeah, I probably should do that.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that you thought that it was uncommon thing for you to not find your identity until college. When you was explaining the abusive friendship that you had or whatever, when you were saying that you didn't really have an identity, so you was just going with whatever was, happening at the moment. I think most people don't really find out who they are until their college age, early 20s.
There's a lot of
stuff
folk
like
now
that,
still trying to figure it out.
I'm just saying,
real.
but I don't think it's uncommon for a middle school age or a teenager to be trying to figure out who they are.
True.
So you know what I'm saying? So I know that's something that you went through, but I don't think that's extremely uncommon. So I thought you was pretty normal in that sense, like trying to figure out, who you are, who you want to hang around, what your own interests are compared to what everyone else is doing. Because I think at that age, a lot of it, especially back then, you ain't want to be outcasted. You ain't want to be, you to the side while, you ain't want to be at least mentionable, not necessarily in the in crowd, but mentionable to where so some of the stuff that we did may not have always been our thoughts or the stuff that we was interested in, but you ain't want to be by yourself. So I think that that's pretty like normal. I think adults do that.
I mean, a lot of adults do it. I think too, particularly like high school transitioning into college, you aren't required to figure out who you are in some ways. Because think about it, I mean, we're all athletes, so we were deemed, you were an athlete at whatever school you went to.
Right.
But you also had the theater kids, the band kids, and we would look at them like, dang, they weird.
Weird as hell.
But what I'm saying is they have their own, just like you had your own, but we looked at it differently. But we aren't, I think it's a societal piece where we aren't trained to find our identity. Just think about everything that we do in life. What is the goal? To have a family, have children, all the American dream type stuff. Well, no, there are many ways and other interests that come into play with that. So we oftentimes forget that, you into anime, stuff like that, or we into sports, or we into this. Like there's multiple things that people can be into that creates who they are from their identity standpoint. We don't give space to really explore that. Because just the other week I was talking to a college student, 42 years old, still trying to figure it out. I don't know what I want to do with my life. To me, that's wild, but for some, it's just like they just don't know who they are, what they want to be, or any of that kind of thing. So it's a lot that goes into it for sure.
I think part of it too is I felt behind as far as like things that I should know. I remember distinctly, bro. We was in 8th grade. We was at the lunch table, and my homeboy, he was like, "Yeah, man," and I hit him with the wheelbarrow. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, why are you farming? Like, we're in 8th grade. We live in the city. Why are you farming? I was like, what is the wheelbarrow? He was like, bro, that's when you take her legs and you like. I was like, why are we talking about this right now? I got the Stone Cold and the Rock action figures at the crib. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Why are we talking about this in 8th grade? And so when I realized there's like a part of information or knowledge that I didn't know, I was like, bro, I'm so behind. And that's the reason why like it was like following so I can be able to not be kept at the crib.
So you be cool.
So I be cool.
Yeah, I feel you.
It's definitely a level of exposure to it though. Like even like now, like with Miles and stuff like that, like to some degree because of his lifestyle that he's lived thus far, there's still some innocence that he has that sometimes scares the hell out of me because of his age. I'm like, bro, he's 12 and they're not, it's like it's a good thing, but it's also to me scary at the same time. I'm glad he's got his innocence. I'm glad in some ways he's still like a kid at heart. And then in other ways, I'm like, what do you be doing when you leave? Like you know, like how do you
make it through the
survive?
day?
You know what I'm saying? Like, how did you make it through the day? How did you survive?
I ask myself that every day. Like,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
how did you make it through the day?
yeah, because I'd be like, bro, I just his level of knowledge and exposure stuff, and I'm like, I know these other kids have a higher level of exposure. So when you sometimes the more information you have will definitely allow you to make better decisions or position yourself because you have the knowledge, you have the information, where you felt like you were behind, mostly because you just felt limited in the amount of information that you had. So I'd be trying to expose him to stuff because in some ways it's not necessarily always about how your parents can set you up, but what you can be exposed to. Because some of the stuff I may not be able to teach him, but if I can get him around something or someone who can show him that type of stuff, I think that helps out a lot, because I also think it's part of where you live too, like rural versus city and stuff like that. Because you talking about 8th grade, you didn't know what a wheelbarrow was, but by the time 8th grade rolled around, it was kids in my school that already had babies. So it was like we already knew, we was already on that. You know, we was like way ahead of, you know, just how things were because of the access that we had to certain different, you know what I'm saying, information, whatever. So I definitely feel where you're coming from, but I still even feel like today, at my age, that I feel behind. But usually it's because I'm either comparing myself to time clock that I had in my head about what I thought I would have by now, or looking at other people, and that puts this thing in me like, dang, I'm behind. I got right. Yeah, I ain't got this yet. I ain't got that yet. I need to do this. The illusion
of the comparison piece.
Yeah.
But I do want to offer a friendly amendment to what you said, because you said access to information. I think with kids now, it is access to pertinent information that matters, because they're exposed to stuff that
everything,
bro. Don't have no, like my daughter this past week, she telling me all about Diddy. I'm like, why are you so enamored with Diddy? She talking about I believe he got a tunnel that he killed people and she was like, I tell you who knows. I take that back. She was like, because you know Michael Jackson, he really liked that song. I always feel like people watching me, and J. Cole wrote a song, and she was like, I know who knows, Beyonce and Sean Carter. I'm like, yo, what? But if I ask you 12 times 12, it take you 30 minutes. Like, what
Can't
are we
get through the
talking
worksheet. Can't get through the worksheet.
What are we talking about?
Come on, bro.
So it's pertinent information rather than just exposure to junk. Yeah. And I think that's the difference. We weren't exposed to a lot of junk per se. We might not have had pertinent information, but we weren't exposed to just everything being thrown at you in
at one time,
multiple ways. And the issue is, a lot of times they don't critically think through anything. Like, she talked about Diddy for 30 minutes, but at 8 o'clock at night, Daddy, you want me to take my shower? You take a shower every night. So that what I'm like, yo, oh my God.
We all live in the same house. We all live in the same house. Or not even ask. You got to tell them, did you wash today?
Right.
Oh, right. I thought I had. No, you didn't. Go take a bath.
And that's my point. Like, it's really a difference in access to foolishness and pertinent information.
We all live in the same house.
Bro, that's hilarious. I was over at Mel's crib, and I watched his daughter finesse him into doing her homework. She straight finesse Mel into doing the homework. First of all, the homework is hard.
It was crazy.
That joint's hard. It was like, what's a number that's a prime of 3 but a multiple of 5? I was like, what? I had to look up what is a prime, because I didn't know. And it was like, it's not an odd.
This coming from a former accountant. I just want y'all to know. I just want to, again, just putting reference in play. This is coming from a former accountant. Okay, all right.
But listen, I had to do the math in my head. I was like, okay, I think it's this number, and she was, and your daughter, I'm praying for her husband because he is in a world of trouble. The way that she got you wrapped around her little finger and the doing them two, she was like, I already read it. He was like, no, you didn't read it out loud. She read it out loud. She was like, all right. What's the answer, Maya? I don't know. You gotta help me. And legit, he answered all the questions.
Hey, she just doing what she taught, pushing the rules to see how
Look.
far it can go.
And look at it working out for her.
Pushing the
Look
rules.
at it working out for her.
Pushing
Look
the
at that.
rules.
Oh my
And she
god.
that does frustrate me though, because I'm like, how am I gonna help you? That's
Yeah.
what be frustrating me. I need some help with the homework. You was in the class, not me.
Right, exactly.
I was in the class.
I got.
She told you how to do it. I won't there. How am I gonna help you with
I
it?
got a test tomorrow. Oh, I studied at school. Where's your notebook? I didn't bring it. It says school, and you get a 50. Okay, bet that. So what did we learn in this? What's the life lesson? Bring your stuff home to review.
Bring your stuff home to
come
review.
on, man. Come on, man.
Miles used to try to every day. I asked him if he got homework. He say no. For years, he's been telling me he ain't got no homework, and I was just thinking he wasn't doing his homework. And then every time he get his report card, almost straight A's, almost every single time.
So when was he doing?
He
this
do
one?
his work at school, because when he get home, he wants to go straight to playing video games.
That's a smart.
He
kid.
wanted, so he do all of his work at school. I ain't see him do homework for the last 4 years until recently, because he's in that AP math, whatever they call it, and he had finally had some actual homework that he was struggling to get through. He did homework for the first time, but for the last like 4 years of school, he never brings his homework home. He just do it at school.
Now, is he doing it? Yes, he's doing it at school. Is he doing it right up until the time is due? Because that was us. If something was due in third block, we was working on it in second block to get it turned in.
I don't
by
know when
third.
he's doing it, but he's doing
Well, a
it.
lot of times they carve out time now for them to actually do
The
their.
schoolwork in
That
class,
is
whatever.
smart. That is smart.
Yeah.
They should do that. They didn't do that. They for when I was in school, they just like, we just want to occupy your time so you can not be in trouble and then get the heck up out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds about right to me.
Yeah, man, crazy. What we talking about, man?
I don't know. T-Dot started us talking about identity and stuff.
Identity, I don't know. But I will say this. I will vote for the person in this upcoming election that sends me the least amount of text messages.
Hey,
Because if I get one more, hey, Troy, my name is Daniel. I'm a former Trump voter. I want to share this video with you. If I get one more of them,
You go crash out?
I'm crashing out, bro.
I just text stop at least 12 times by now.
Yeah.
And I don't know
Yeah.
how I keep getting text messages. I don't know where our number lives for them to be texting and calling
It's
me.
crazy. Yeah.
But it has been pissing me off. I'm like, y'all ain't in the same campaign program or something. Like, y'all should have my name on the list or something.
Like, I'm voting for you. Like, relax.
Somebody called me and I told, look,
Everybody calm
legit.
down.
Someone called me recently. I said, if you call me one more time, I'm voting for the other side. Whatever side this is, I said, I don't know what side
I
this
would
is.
hope you don't.
I said, I'm like, I don't know which side this is that's calling, because it's both
Yeah.
groups.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
I don't know which side is calling me right now. I
Oh,
said,
you
but
must be you must not have a identifier as far as like.
I don't know, I feel like I'm getting, most of them are coming from the Harris campaign, like Democratic stuff, but some I still get Republican stuff too. And people walking in neighborhoods and stuff like that. There was a group of white women walking the neighborhood. All of them had pamphlets and fanny packs and stuff like that. I saw them walking up to the door. Before they even got to the door, I came on the door, but I said, "Don't put nothing on my door."
Mel's such a black Karen, yo. He is
Yo,
such a black Karen.
I
yo.
said, "Don't put
He is
nothing on my door."
He
Don't
is such a
put,
black Karen, yo, for real.
bro, for real. I seen them walking through there. I said, "Don't put nothing on my door and get from out the front of my house." We got a no solicitor sign at the front of the neighborhood.
Now, see, now
Don't
they
solicit
wrong.
nothing in my neighborhood.
Now they wrong. But see, technically, they not breaking the rules because
They're
they
not.
not soliciting. They
I
not
told
asking for
everybody though.
money.
Okay, so it wasn't just them. It been some other groups too that I said don't. Come
They
on,
just
don't
out
put
here
nothing
doing
on-
their civic
I
duty.
know, but I'm just like, don't come over here. Don't put nothing on my stay at my house.
Yeah. Nah, I can't. I know we don't necessarily put out candidates and stuff like that, but y'all know what y'all need to do.
Come on, bro.
I mean, that's
This is
just
just ridiculous.
what gets me is this whole Christian nationalist movement. Like, if you have read anything in the Bible, like just an inkling in the Bible, you know this the person who you should not be voting for.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just wild to me. I mean, even like watching the news and some of even the rhetoric and the commercials and stuff like that, like you just know it's not true. Like, this is just not truthful information, but yet we putting out all this misinformation and this rhetoric. Like, no, like,
But bro,
it's
they
just not how
eating
it
dogs
works.
out. In,
I knew you was about to say that.
They eating dogs out in
I'm tired of
Springfield,
seeing them
Ohio.
commercials.
Well, been eating cats for years. I love a freaking. Been eating that for years. So, like, come on, man. Stop it, yo. Stop the madness, man. Stop the madness, yo. Stop it. Just stop it. Just stop. And then I was the other day, I was watching, the Mark Robinson situation or whatever, with his stance on abortion and all of that.
Yeah.
Now, wherever you land on that,
commercial clip that they keep playing is wild, though.
whatever you land on that, that's cool. Like, that's a moral piece. But I'm all for not taking people's rights to make that decision.
Correct.
That's just where I stand, point blank, period. You're not going to change it. It is what it is. But when you tell me if you were the governor, you would disband all abortions for whatever reason across the board and start saying, because you didn't have if you wouldn't have had
keep
your
your skirt down
and all this other stuff, this nigga has had an abortion.
Yeah.
So how can you tell me at this point,
right?
You would disband something that you've already done?
Mm-hmm.
Crazy, but nobody. It's like people don't make these connections, and it's just this whole campaign cycle has been.
And them be the people making the rules that y'all want me to follow.
That's what I'm saying. You want this? We gonna follow this rule when you can get on TV and say you had one years ago because of whatever reason, but now you want to dismantle all the reasons why a person would need one.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man, stop it.
Yeah, that if you would have kept your skirt down type of mentality,
crazy.
That's predator type of.
It's
rhetoric.
crazy rhetoric.
That's predator rhetoric because it makes it seem like it's always the woman's fault. It's
absolutely
it's not the case.
Victimization, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Re-victimization, all of that. But it's like, do you hear what you're saying? Like, do you hear what you put into the atmosphere? Like, it's just wild to me.
But y'all heard about his internet searches, right?
Yeah, I heard about that.
It's crazy.
He's suing whoever. I think he's suing CNN. But again, I've always wondered, and this goes back to even aspects of religion and church and stuff like that, how only certain things are elevated. And that goes back to homosexuality, all that kind of stuff. The Bible only says about homosexuality like twice. It's not throughout the book in regards to the parable stories and all that kind of thing that's put out there. But for whatever reason, within the black church, it is so hyper sexualized.
Mm-hmm.
I will never understand that when sin across the board is sin. That's what we're taught. That's what it is. That's what the book says, etc. But it's always, they're attacking our kids. Well, what are you doing at home to teach your child in whichever capacity you choose to teach them? This is what it is, XYZ. Right. It's like we get away from having real conversations around certain topics because we just want to stand on something that has been said to us when we haven't done our own due diligence and research. I just don't get it.
I'm for that. Did y'all y'all probably have seen it, but want to know how y'all feel about it. The clip that was going around of Barack speaking to quote unquote black men.
No.
He was at I don't want to say a voter registration thing, but it was more like a voters campaign type of deal. And it was a bunch of black men, and he was discussing to them just some of the stuff that the media was saying about young black voters, black males in particular, how they're more leaning towards Trump and stuff like that. So he was talking to them from the standpoint of it's our responsibility as black men to step forward and make the right decision. Basically, saying like, reconsider your thoughts on voting for the other side. Like right now you have an opportunity to do something that's going to be more progressive, in the long run, et cetera, for black people, and just trying to more so hold black men accountable to what has been saying in terms of poll ratings, all type of other stuff like that. And I thought it was legit. I thought it was like, all right, Unc is talking to us about what we need to be, doing or what we could be doing better, why it's important, yada. And it wasn't like a chastising situation to me. It was more like let me have some talk with y'all. Like, let me tell y'all what it really is type of thing. But most people received it in a way that was like he was chastising black men, like talking down on black men and stuff like that. And they felt like it was very tone deaf. And more like, why didn't he talk to anybody else? Why he didn't talk to white men? Why he didn't talk to this? Like, why he is? And I am the thought of who else was he supposed to talk to?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't imagine me being a black man walking to a room full of white guys trying to tell them what they need to be doing. With their, but who can't? If Barack can't talk to us, who can talk to us?
Right.
So I just wondering if y'all seen it or how y'all felt about it.
Hadn't seen the clip, but I have thoughts. I think that in a lot of ways, we don't know and understand aspects of the historical struggle that we've gone through, because you got to think after the 60s, a lot of people thought things were just sweet. You know what I mean? Oh, there is no racism. There is no this. There is no that. But if you look at just from a systematic standpoint, all that stuff is still in place and it's still in play to this day. So I think it's very interesting because even having conversations with older black men born, let's say in the 50s, 60s, well, I can't vote for no woman. Why? So you go either not vote or vote for the other side just because it's a woman? Like really? This is where we at, yo, in the year of our Lord 2024. Like, stop it, man. Like, come on now. Like, I don't think she. Why don't you think she can do it? No rhyme or reason behind it. Just throwing out these blanket statements based upon whatever feeling that they have, and it's craziness. So you mean to tell me you'd rather risk all these things that other people have benefited from? And I think the piece that is glaring is the fact that there's no direct impact on their lives from a standpoint of, if you've made it to a certain status quo, i.e. the tax breaks and those kind of things that have been quote unquote promised. But what if you are a first time home buyer? What if you do have children or a female child who can have everything stripped away from her before she is even of age to even be trying to think about these decisions down the line, et cetera? Those are things that you got to think about, not what break you go get at the end of the year on your taxes. And that's the piece that people struggle with. Like even some of the black and Latinx folks who are supporting Trump. Well, the economy was so great under Trump. No, it was not.
He gave y'all $1,500.
No, it was not.
Obama gave you cell phones. That's what Jay
said. It's just like these kinds of things that people equate to the right now, but not thinking down the line. Because again, what if it's your child who unfortunately has something happen to them and they get pregnant on some random craziness? You want to have access to making a decision. All the options possible, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's like people not thinking like that, and I do not understand it. And maybe it's just me, but I just don't get it. What's right is right, wrong is wrong, and what is happening on the other side is just straight wrong.
Mm-hmm. I think, to play devil's advocate, I think what the argument is for some is that while that is true, there are for the horrible situations that the access is being more so used as a sense of birth control rather than an emergency type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
That is true though, but
you know what I'm saying? But like percentage wise, it's like these situations happen but more of these situations happen, and because of, you know what I'm saying, because for whatever reasons it's being overused versus used for the times
but
it's supposed to be used.
Whose right is it to say that?
Which is 100% true.
And that's my point. It doesn't matter for whatever reason as a person decides to take that route. That is their prerogative and their decision to make. The issue that I have, because the other side will say, we don't want big government. That technically is big government if you take something away from everybody.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So pick what side you go be on with this, because at the end of the day, if you're taking away birth control, IVF, if you're taking away all these things, how is that benefiting anyone?
How are they? I don't understand the IVF part. Like,
why do they want umbrella?
Why do they want to take away IVF?
Or say, for instance, we know that black women suffer from the most. They have higher death rates giving birth. What if you know what I'm saying? You're in a situation where your partner or whatever is pregnant. They have a high risk pregnancy, right, and they can die from giving birth. Mm-hmm. What you go do? Mm-hmm. Like, these are things that freaking matter. Mm-hmm. But it's acting like it's 1 point. I don't know how many abortions happen in a year, but at the end of the day, all of those things fall under the category of an abortion. Mm-hmm. So me making a decision to go get one on a Thursday, whether you carry a baby, and then compared to the other person who carries a baby for 7 months, and now they on bed rest, and if they do have the baby, they go die. It's still an abortion, regardless of how you slice it. Yeah. So what is right? What is wrong?
I am for saving the life of the mother. Mm-hmm. My wife and I, we've had that conversation multiple times. Like, if it got to a point of where you were going to die, mm-hmm, I have to pick you.
But what if you're not giving that option?
I made an oath. Yeah. Oh, I'm just.
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying.
And I was like, so yeah, I would pick you because I made an oath to provide, protect, all those types of things, and I know you can't make the decision on your own because you would deem this child's life precious. So I would, even if I had the choice, I would I'm picking my wife. Mm-hmm. I think where the problem comes in is where it's the demographic of people who have a punch card at Planned Parenthood. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Have 6 abortions, get the 7th one free type thing. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to that, I think it's the extreme. It's the extreme. We're all afraid of the extreme, so we make up rules, regulations, laws to get rid of the extreme. Which I think that's probably what the argument is.
Right, but is that even a sound argument? I mean, let's think about it. I know people. Everybody that I know, for the most part, I would probably say 65% of the individuals I know, even some of my friends, have paid for abortions or had an abortion. That's one. I'm 40. So that's not an extreme where you having 6.
Oh, say that again. I'm sorry.
I say everybody, 65% of the people that I know has either paid for an abortion or had an abortion.
Mm-hmm.
In what how long term, or I just made a decision.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is, when people are spewing this rhetoric with no real value of, using the example that you gave, a punch card, 6 get your 7 free. Nobody's doing that, yo. Like,
some people
are doing it, bro.
I'm not saying that. Okay, let me rephrase.
So not in
Some
the
people
sense of 6 and 7, but in the sense of I think what he is trying to convey, and let me interpret for the good brother, is he's more so speaking about the women who have already predetermined that I can just get an abortion. Like, it's not there, so they're not taking any additional steps towards birth control because they know I could just get an abortion.
Right.
That's what he's talking about.
But the piece that I think people don't understand is the steps that it takes to get an abortion.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you just go in and you just get it done. There are steps. You have to, you go through a process, you leave, they give you time to reflect and think about it even further, and then you come back to get it done. If that's what you decide to do. So it's not like the last episode you was talking about, I want Burger King for lunch. It's not like, okay, today I'm gonna go get. It's not the same thing, and people really be acting like it's a on the whim decision. So think about it too. Say for instance, if you you already in a situation where you growing up in low socioeconomic status, your education, you live below the poverty line, this, that, and the third. I would truly think about if I want to bring a child into that. That's something that I'm strategically thinking about, and if it's better for the child and better for my overall lifespan, yes, I have a decision to make. It shouldn't be where the government says wherever state you live in can decide that for you. Like, that was a federal, and that other piece, it was a federal law. Like, this was something for everybody. Whether you choose to do it or not, that's your prerogative. So I just feel as though it's just wrong, and I think that they are really coming for women's rights in other ways that are more detrimental in the long run than short term.
I don't think he's disagreeing with.
Oh no, I didn't take it as a disagreement.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't take it as a
I think
disagreement.
I think much like what that point was, that is where a lot of other people are coming from. Because just like we talked about the rules, one person does something, then you govern everybody else's body. They're focusing on the small group of women who have, despite the process of what it takes, they already have in their mind, if I don't want, I can just get an abortion.
Right.
Like they've had a few. There would be women on social media or whatever it is openly saying, "Oh, that I done have 4. Rest in peace to the kids. I would blah." You know, like taking it lightly or whatever. So I think when people consider abortion, they're thinking about that small subset of women, and they're, hovering over the entire group of people, not really considering a lot of the points that you just made. So I think that's usually the tone in which people are coming from when they're speaking about these. They're not considering the whole because they're focusing on the small one or two.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The small one or two.
But again, it goes back to as well, who is the determiner, who should be able to determine for the whole, rather than these are isolated incidences. This is our process around that, rather than saying we just go wipe it away totally. And people who have high risk or IVF and all those other things, now they don't have appropriate access, when we know that data proves that Black women have higher death rates giving birth versus other ethnicities and identities. Whereas we know that, so it's a trickle down effect to create more issue and concern. That's more so my overall point. So, but y'all know what to do. Y'all need to get out there and vote. Because this is real stuff, man. This is real stuff.
I will say this. I think we are fully aware of who's running on the highest position in the land. I think we're fully aware of that. Do you know who your locals are?
And that's the other piece.
Because I ain't going to hold you. yesterday, I was about to go early vote.
Mm-hmm.
Because my coworker was like, "Yeah, I went to go early vote." I was like, "For real?" She was like, "Yeah, just go down to this place." I was like, "Bet." And then I was like, "I think that's what I'm gonna do." So I walked away from my desk, went to go get something to eat, came back. I was like, "Hey, real quick, what else are we voting for?" Because I had no clue. She was like, "Oh yeah, we gotta vote for this law. We gotta vote for these elected officials." And so I was like, "Dang, I can't go vote."
Mhm.
Because I haven't done my research on any of the people who are running. And I try to be as unbiased as I can. Yes, we have seen the stuff that have come from ads, text messages, and the stuff in the mail and stuff like that. But what are you actually running on? You know what I'm saying? I'll go to your website and I'll check and see what you're running on. So for us who are voting who are like really big on the presidential election, make sure you also are aware of who you voting for in your local elections, because otherwise you're just gonna be
Yeah.
clueless without a clue. Because if it's essentially where you live is affected by your local.
All that matters. Yeah, all that matters, bro. All that matters.
Yo, it's your boy T. Roy. This is just a friendly reminder. If you haven't done so already, make sure you go out and vote November 5th. Your vote is important. Do your civic duty. We appreciate you rocking with us at the Manly D's podcast with life coach Lace, Melly Mel, and your boy Troy. Just remember, if you need some hope, I got something you can borrow. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow. We holla at you.